We are in diesel territory now. We need to be careful. We are 2 engines in perfect working order. What is the least that can happen? Turn back, called a voice. Duck and Alan gasped, and then noticed a rusty engine who looked quite familiar. It was 87546. Oh my goodness, it's him, cried Duck. There is no time to waste. We need to get him back on the rails. The workmen in the coach quickly set up cranes and put 87546 back on the rails.
Oi, what are you two doing here?
We are just taking this engine to the smelter shed. What a shame, too. 87546 knew where he was going with the situation and pretended to be frightened and sad.
Seems legit, eh, Splatter?
I guess so. Carry on.
Surprised, Alan and Duck soon switched tracks to take 87546 back to Sodor. The 2 naive diesels then went back to their shed, where their boss was waiting.
What was all that about, you two?
Oh, just 2 steam engines taking that old rusty one to the smelter shed. Regular night for us, you know.
In the distance, the big diesel could see the engines puffing out of the scrapyard, and he soon realized,
They aren't taking him in, you idiots! They're rescuing him! Ugh! I always have to clean up your messes. I'll be back to deal with you two.
The 3 engines were soon on their way home, when they saw an unfamiliar diesel with a giant claw.
Who is that heading towards us? Oh god, he has a claw! Clearly he doesn't want us taking 87546. We need to puff harder.
The 2 engines puffed as hard as they could. The big diesel was still gaining on them with his claw reaching out. Neither of them have ever been so frightened. Eventually, they approached the bridge.
Home, here we come. No!
And as fast as their wheels could carry them, they all made it across the bridge, and the big diesel with the large claw oiled his way back to the scrapyard, seething with rage and defeat. Alan, Duck, and 87546 were delighted as they tiredly but triumphantly made their way back home. The other engines had just came back from searching for the lost engine when Duck, Alan, and 87546 came into view. They were all quite exhausted from the journey and were quite happy to be back home. The engines looked at the rusty engine in awe. Not long after they arrived, Adam returned. He was quite surprised to see that 87546 was found.
Hello, 87546.
Hello, Adam. I was wrong about what I said back in the 30s. Just look at me now.
It's funny how karma works. Now do not say that. None of this was your fault. You were one of the rudest engines on the island of Sodor, but that does not mean that there was still potential. I talked to Sir Charles back in the day, and he told me that he saw potential in you two. I didn't believe him, but as I grew older, the more I understood him. I learned from Lily the other day that I should give engines like you a chance. I did that with 9846, I mean Reginald, and now he is a good friend of mine. I hope we can have that same relationship. The engines were speechless. Adam had never talked like that before. What? Is it something I said? He then noticed 87546 smiling at him.
Thanks for saying that. My confidence is back, but not how it was back then, of course. We know.
Just then, Reginald chuffed in looking tired. He was a bit out of it at first, but when he saw 87546, he immediately gained full consciousness.
87546? Is that you?
Yes, it's me. I heard you got a new name.
Yes, indeed. It feels much better to have a name that engines do not know as a rude engine's number. You know, that gets me thinking. If I had a name, what should it be? I don't know. Maybe speak to Sir Topham Hatt about it. All right.
Well, we'd best get a move on and get you fixed up.
That's what I like to hear.
And they soon set off to the works. When they got there, Henry was there getting a tune-up. He was quite surprised to see 87546 and a little nervous as well. When he was shunted into the shed, 87546 was the first to speak.
Oh, why hello, Henry. Long time no see. You look different.
Yes, indeed. After a most horrid accident with the flying kipper, I went to Crew Works where I was built into a Black 5. I feel excellent now.
When you meet the other engines tomorrow, tell them that I am eternally grateful for them having faith in me.
Will do. So, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Perhaps I should tell the story of how I got into this situation.
Oh, sure. That subject has always fascinated me. Do tell. And this is the story he told. In the early years, the island was separated into 3 railways: the Wellsworth and Sudbury Railway, the Sodor and Mainland Railway, and the Tidmouth, Knapford, and Elsbridge Railway, which merged into one in 1914. At the time, they only had very few engines, and the business was beginning to increase, so Sir Charles had to buy 2 more express engines. Them being express engines made their ego rise quite a bit. They would bully the other engines for being inferior in their opinions. Take Henry, for example. At the time, he was completely custom built, and had many issues throughout his early days.
Hey, stop that!
Oi, stop it, you horrid engines!
It is all right. Trust me, they will soon realize that their actions were not validated at all.
Edward was right about that, you know.
I've recovered from my egotistical views. Interesting. What about when you were sent away? Okay, so, basically, the last straw was when 87546 snuck out of the shed and took a passenger train when he was shut up in the shed. Already planned to be sent away for hurting passengers in a crash.
You have injured so many passengers and sent one to the hospital. That is it. I am sending you away. Actually, stay in the shed this time and don't come out.
87546 was mortified from that news, but also glad he didn't have to share a railway with, quote, out-of-date engines. When repairs were made, 87546 and 98462 had an argument about ego.
I can understand breaking the rules once, but twice? There is no wonder such a dangerous engine is being sent away. Oh, lay off. You literally do the same thing. I know my limits. Unlike you, when I'm shut up in the shed, I stay there and listen, no matter how splendid I am. Shut it! You have done a 180 on me and completely betrayed me. What happened? Oh, don't give me that. Perhaps it is about after my crash I've actually learned something.
The fat director soon arrived.
Get out of my sight, you two. I'm tired of your arguing.
Yes, sir.
You're just going to accept silence. Leave my railway immediately.
And they both chuffed angrily away. Whoa. And I thought you were both in the wrong.
As it turns out, 98462 had grown into a respectable engine when we were sent away. We ended up going our separate ways, and recently, we were finally going to be put up for scrap. He escaped and went somewhere else, and I sadly couldn't since my driver and fireman found new work.
Do not worry. Here we do not scrap really useful engines. Even though you two were quite rude to me, things got better. I mean, I'm one of the strongest engines on Soda now, thanks to Sir Topham Hatt. And that is a good lesson. No matter how bad things get, most of the time, things will get better. Just then, Reginald and Alan arrived to visit. They were happy to see their old colleague in good hands.
Hello, old friend. Hello, Reginald.
We need to think of a new name for you. What should it be?
I think Cecil would be a nice name, don't you think?
Oh, that would be splendid. Cecil it is. Excellent. Now we both have new names and new personalities.
Alan was overjoyed from being with his old friends again. This is just like the past. Minus the ego, of course.
Let's start a new beginning.
Think of me as a new engine. And the four old friends stared into the sunrise, knowing that they had good friends always by their side.